Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna talk about 5 myths of the Brazilian piano, 5 ideas that people usually have about the Brazilian piano and how to play it that are going to the wrong way. And I don't blame these people because there is a few information of the Brazilian piano internet. So I try to create this channel to help you to find more information about the Brazilian piano. And I selected some affirmations that people usually do about the Brazilian piano. Let's talk about the first. If I just hear, I will learn it. This is it's very wrong about the Brazilian piano because I've already tried. I've seen musicians trying, and there is a lot of secrets behind the Brazilian language. What is important to do in one style and in another. In Brazilian piano, we often imitate the Brazilian instruments. I like to give the example of Bossa Nova because many of you are searching for Bossa Nova information. So when we play the groove of Bossa Nova, we are imitating a groove that was created on the guitar. So was a groove created by the composer João Gilberto, and we have some subtle details of how to act in the different situations. For example, when the bass is inverted, when you are playing a faster tempo, you behave in a different way. When you are playing higher chords, there is some solutions for a lot of situations that you can find in the sheets. You don't find this information written, and sometimes you won't find some recordings with the same situation you are trying to I lose the word, but some solutions you are searching for some situation you won't find in any recording. So sometimes you don't have the reference, and the only way to solve this problem is to understand the concept that's behind some of these ideas. When you play another styles, for example, some instruments you're gonna try to recreate them at the piano. For example, if I'm using this is the baião, for example, and I'm imitating the triangle. A triangle has it's part of the rhythmic layer. One of the part of the rhythmic layer that does the subdivision of the rhythm. And in a lot of styles we do the subdivision at the piano and others not. And we have to recognize when to use, because sometimes they're gonna create something that it's far from the language of that style. So we have some few situations where to use it. For example, I talk a lot of times about the direction of the bass. That's a very common mistake that usually commit playing Brazilian music, and this happens in samba, and it happens. That is one style in Brazilian. People usually repeat some bass notes. In some styles you don't repeat some bass notes. So these concepts are hidden, and sometimes just hearing and don't hearing enough recordings, you won't understand the concept behind. Alright? Let's see the number 2 that I selected here. Every Brazilian song is bossa nova. Yeah. This couldn't be more far from the truth. And we have different styles, and sometimes the concepts don't you are not just talking about the groove that changes one style from another, but some styles have some harmonic choices. For example, Afro Samba. Sometimes you can find the bossa nova beat. You can find, but often the harmony is modal, and the melodies will be made by pentatonic scales. The lyrics will talk about the Aphrodites, and what else more. But you're gonna find the groove of bossa nova. Some sambas, you're gonna find also a groove near from bossa nova, but they have other things, other elements that makes that a samba. For example, I'm gonna give you an example. If you're playing a fast bossa, that is a typical beat for bossa nova, for pa ta 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 ta. So this is a typical beat related to bossa nova, but it's not sambas. For example, because in samba you have a stronger bass. And in bossa nova you're gonna have a simple bass without so many accents, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to realize this these concepts that are behind. And I was talking that this can be a samba or a bossa nova, and you have another styles like samba jazz that's very similar to bossa nova, and what else more? Here in Brazil we have 256 styles that are listed, that we know that exist. Probably there are more than this, but they listed. The last time musicians tried to research for this, they found all these styles, and you can you can think musicians. Foreigner musicians usually think they are all bossa nova. Alright? I'm gonna show examples. For example, you have choro, that it's sometimes they find the syncopation, oh, it's bossa nova. No, you have another behavior. Alright? So bossa nova, it's very specific. You have a specific beat, you have some specific variations, you have a behavior of the melody, you have a way that it's sang by the singers, you have a typical way of making the melodical embellishment, and so it's that, alright? Be careful if you are hearing Brazilian music and thinking that's all samba and bossa nova, right? Or what else more? Brazilian musician. This is a very interesting thing about the Brazilian piano, a myth about Brazilian piano, that the Brazilian music, it's Brazilian jazz for us. I'm gonna search, for example, a school of Brazilian jazz, and alright, there are some musicians that are very influenced by the jazz language, and they will they will play Brazilian songs with the jazz improvisation. But for example, if you lived the period of the bossa nova, you won't search just musicians doing playing jazz. They were searching for a Brazilian way of playing songs. They weren't improvisers. Some of them, like Tom Jobim, he improvised because he knew the language of jazz. He played at nightclubs and but this wasn't the main goal of his music. He was searching for a language, a melodic language, a harmonic language, a rhythmic language. So we don't think our music as a Brazilian jazz most of the times. We use this term Brazilian jazz just to help people out of Brazil to know, to search. They search for Brazilian music. But here we understand the different movements of Brazilian music with their name. For example, samba, nothing related with jazz. If you want to see samba, the traditional samba you're gonna find in the carnival, or some musicians that they don't improvise, they don't search for this kind of language, and they are searching to create songs, and they are very worried with the percussion part to give the most swing they can, and if you, for example, search for frevo, you're gonna see also a different kind of carnival music that we use to improvise. You can create, but it's not common in this style. The traditional musicians of frevo don't improvise, they don't do this. So we just refer ourselves as Brazilian jazz to help people to know that we are dealing with a creative way of doing Brazilian music, picking the influences and doing Brazilian music. So if you wanna search for a specific Brazilian music movement, you have often to know the name. For example, if you go to the state of Pernambuco, you can search for maracatu. Alright? This music is often used to play this Brazilian jazz, but the traditional movement doesn't have anything with jazz. Alright? They don't know. If you ask some musicians of maracatu, they know anything about jazz. Alright, let's talk a little bit more. I can learn reading the Brazilian scores, the Brazilian piano. Wow, this is very far from the truth also. The first thing about this is that we don't have a lot of Brazilian sheet music here. In the last 10 years it has been growing, but for example, if you are gonna search bossa nova, you won't find the information of the grooves, you won't find information of the voicings of the bossa nova. When you find the information about the bossa nova sheets, musical scores about bossa nova, you're gonna find the good ones has the voicings but doesn't have the beat. Alright, you're gonna find, for example, And if you, for example, are studying for some choro, for example, that it's an older way, musical movement in Brazilian music, you won't find how to swing in the choro. Where is the accent? How to use, how to behave yourself? How to use pedals? If you play more legato, more staccato, you don't have enough information. And often, for example, when we hear the classical musicians playing the choro, they play and often they are not thinking on the elements of the choro. This is a very percussive piece. Sometimes they don't have this swing. They play with more pedal, varying the tempos, the beat, and in choro it's a little bit out of the language when we do this. When we create some variations, choro is more precise in terms of tempo. It's not a tempo, a random tempo, alright? So this is a thing that you won't find in the sheets, alright? And sometimes in the sheet or in a Brazilian sheet, you are imitating some instrument and you don't know the reference, so you won't play in the way that we're gonna sound as that instrument, alright? And we'll write. And this will be the most important, and this is part of this channel. The Brazilian swing comes from the talent, and I think in the case of the Brazilian piano, it's far from the truth. I used to play. I used to play in a lot of in some recitals. I don't know the name. Some audience of classical musicians, and they often tell me, I have the talent to create this swing, this Brazilian swing, when I'm playing choro. For you jazz players, this can be obvious, but some people thinks that this comes from talent, and that is I study. That is a way to study this. I learned with teachers, and there were some talented musicians that learned this researching by themselves, but I don't consider myself a talented musician. I just studied and searched for information a lot, and I discovered how to develop the ability of having the Brazilian swing. So this can be a formal study, like the classical music that you study to play a note with intention, with a specific sound of the piano, with a dynamic, for example. And in Brazilian music that's the same, and you have some rules, and to be able to play inside these rules, you have to do some exercise. You have to sometimes study just the left hand and give accent to some specific note. For example, let me try to. For example, in this style, this is a Ijexá. I am imitating, I'm playing the melody. This melody can be a little bit more staccato than other Brazilian styles. I'm doing the bass and the second beat, and it's a upbeat also, and I have some drums here that I play a little bit small. So so this is not a talent. I had to exercise myself to put this sound, to create this independence. For example, so I've studied this a lot to put a melody in these fingers, to put the beats on these fingers, and to put the bass, each one with its volume. So this is not talent, man. You can I just imagine a person doing this in an intuitive way if this person has some experience of studying some other styles. This won't be natural for any musician that tries to do without understand some concept, some or making some studies related to this. All right. So that's this is what I wanted to say about the Brazilian music, that people often thinks these things, and I'm gonna start to do some videos. I am thinking I don't know if it's interesting for you, but analyzing some people playing Brazilian music and showing the opportunities of to put more Brazilian language inside their play. So if you want to have your video analyzed here, just send me your videos, send me the link that I'm gonna do analysis for you. I'm gonna send you in private. If you like it, I'm gonna publish. Alright, this is not for to give a critic, but to show the opportunities. Alright, and the main objective of this channel, it's to help you to play with more Brazilian language. I often see a lot of books, methods about jazz playing, how to play, to put the accent, to do the phrasing, and I think it's necessary to do the same in Brazilian music, because the more you go deeper, more interesting the sound is. Alright? When I hear the great Brazilian musicians, I have the sensation in each period of my life to hear them differently and to realize some different qualities in their sound. So the objective, the goal of this channel is to do this. I hope I have helped you, and if you want to know more, just write me on the comments. I'm gonna have pleasure to help you. Thanks for watching, and see you every day here for more quick tips and lives about how to play Brazilian piano in an authentic way. Thank you. Bye bye.